Now, I know what you're thinking, this really does seem like an odd choice. But that Wizard of Oz cartoon that I reviewed was also an odd choice. And while I'm not too caught up with modern Family Guy, I do seem to notice that people don't think that it can be funny anymore. And yes, Family Guy is dull, and it has gone on for way too long, but it can be funny from time to time. Except for in this episode. So buckle your seatbelts, we're taking a look at Veteran Guy. The episode starts at the Quahog thrift store, and right away we just get 5 or 6 rapid-fire jokes, and each one of them fails.
Looking passable, Stewie. Looking damn passable.
But I'm just gonna say it, this episode is way too claustrophobic because of way too many jokes, and the plot can't advance very much because of that. Which would be fine if it were funny, but the jokes aren't that funny. So Peter finds this hat, and people start to think that he's a veteran, which he starts to take advantage of.
Hey, Peter, what's with the hat?
I'm pretending to be a veteran.
What?
Yeah, it's awesome. Vets get all the sweet deals. I mean, you never see a homeless vet.
Writers here are trying to be offensive, but the problem is that they're not competent enough to be offensive. It just comes off like they're trying too hard. Which is unfortunate because it means that if this episode succeeded in what it wanted to do, it would still be bad.
Everywhere I go, they open doors for me.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
That joke made no sense. Most Walmarts have automatic doors. So Peter somehow magically gets hats out of nowhere, and they all start to impersonate veterans together. After that, the next joke does nothing. It's not funny, it doesn't further the plot, it just is there. So Peter and the gang get on the plane, and finally something substantive happens.
Sorry.
The Nathan James is the fictitious ship on TNT's The Last Ship, starring Adam Baldwin and Jocko Sims. And Eric Dane.
So the gang, except for Quagmire, who actually is a veteran, gets arrested. And there's actually a decent joke in this part of the episode.
Oh, so suddenly it's a crime to break the law?
It's a small joke, but I actually chuckled a little bit when I saw it. So they are on trial, and...
You 3 have to join the Marines.
But I guess the joke opportunities weren't as big, so they decided.
Oh my God, we could be killed! Please, no!
All right, how about the Coast Guard?
Yeah, that's fine.
And so you know what's coming. Jokes about how the Coast Guard isn't the real military.
Sir, when do we report for basic training, sir?
Hey, what's with the sir stuff? This is just the Coast Guard.
Well, I got that one right on the nose.
Everybody ships out tomorrow. You'll find your assignments listed on this sheet.
Ah, crap, where in Iraq is Fort El Aoud Erd Ali?
Peter, that's Fort Lauderdale.
Wow, we get jokes about how the Coast Guard isn't really a part of the military, and jokes about my home state. I'm gonna love this. And then we get another cutaway gag that's trying way too hard to be offensive. And once they get into Fort Lauderdale, none of the jokes are really that funny, and the plot moves at a snail's pace until the very end of the episode. For example, this one joke, which was never funny to begin with, goes on for 40 seconds. That's longer than the theme song. And then the next joke just exposes another problem with this episode, and that's Stewie. While he is currently the best character on Family Guy, he doesn't really get much screen time in this. Do I think that Stewie would have made this particular episode better if he had more screen time? No, he's kind of unneeded. But I think they should have just scrapped this plot altogether and gone with a plot that better suits Stewie's character. Now, why am I just explaining why certain jokes are unfunny? Well, mainly because nothing happens in the plot and it is extremely boring. Maybe something like Quagmire leaving would have some weight to it if Quagmire actually did something in this episode, but he doesn't.
Probably all go urinate together outdoors as a group of guys while wearing backwards baseball caps per Fort Lauderdale municipal law.
Screw that. Us North Floridians like to defecate in public while wearing baseball caps. So, we are introduced to our villains of the episode, but you can't take them seriously because they're just an unfunny joke. The joke is that they can only say the same line of dialogue. And there's no way to convince me otherwise. Our main villains of the episode are only a joke because Seth MacFarlane wanted to cut costs. On a show that makes billions of dollars annually.
We gotta stop them.
All right, let's just find a quiet place to come up with a plan. All right, here's what we do. We track down...
As someone who has been to places like this and hates the beach, this part of the episode is painful for me to watch. After the painful part where they discuss a plan, they straight up rip off a joke from SpongeBob.
Up. 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 Up.
So Peter gives what I'm guessing is supposed to be an inspirational speech.
We're in the Coast Guard. And when you're here, you're family.
I hope you guys like that joke because we're going to be seeing it quite a few times throughout the course of this episode. And it wasn't even that funny the first time. So they get on the bad guy's boat after Peter crushes the skull of a kid's jet ski to get on it, which is just unneeded.
All right, everybody freeze! This is the U.S. Coast Guard. And when you're here, you're family.
Wow, I didn't expect it to get this old so fast.
Anyway, U.S. Coast Guard. You kids are...
So none of the bullets hit them because they're the main characters. And then the next scene just turns into an MMO, which is a creative idea, I'll give them points for that, but it's not really funny.
Ah, crap, we're gonna die!
Freeze!
Pick one. Either Quagmire is a part of the episode, or he's not.
Because I'm in the U.S. Coast Guard. And when you're here...
No, don't say it!
God dang it!
About the bomb.
Bomb?
Yep, right here on the boat.
So they go looking for the bomb, and those are some creepy looking background characters.
You're wasting your time. The bomb will activate the moment the floor stops vibrating.
Did you hear that? Twerk! Twerk like you're Miley Cyrus trying to prove something to your dad!
When did this episode come out? So yeah, that was nowhere close to topical. So they find the bomb, and Peter acts stupid.
Ah, I forgot they do that.
And then Quagmire saves the day. The one person that could have been written out of this episode otherwise, and it would have been largely unchanged, saved the day.
Anyway, what matters is everyone's okay. Thanks to the Coast Guard. Because when you're here...
Yep, it's official. Cleveland is my new favorite character. So, yeah, that was Veteran Guy. It had an extremely light plot and way too many jokes that were unfunny taking up the space. And with as many jokes as they crammed into this episode, you would think that at least a few of them would be funny, but no, there were only like one or two. The writers are just trying way too hard to be funny, and they rarely succeed. And in doing so, the plot suffers a lot. Seriously, if you cut out all of the dull scenes and jokes that don't really do anything, then this could have been a 5-minute short. If you see this episode on TV, change the channel. Thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions on what you think I should review next, please let me know. Thanks, and have a good one.